The iPad Pro is Apple's biggest tablet yet, and the company even thinks that you could use this thing instead of a laptop. But is that true? With me is my colleague Andy. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
And Andy has been using the iPad Pro as his main computer for a week, and he's going to share his thoughts. So this is a 12.9-inch tablet. It's absolutely massive. Firstly, tell me, Andy, having used it, how does the size impact productivity?
It just makes everything a lot easier. You've got so much more screen real estate to see. Web pages look much better when they're big. Working on text documents, just writing, word processing, such a basic task, but it's made much better by having a big screen. And of course, when you can now use two apps side by side, having that bigger screen makes that so much easier to do.
So let's talk about the keyboard and the stylus, or as Apple calls it, the pencil. Now, something I think everyone is going to be keen to know is, are these two accessories actually useful, or are they just a gimmick?
They are really useful. I mean, we've had third-party keyboards to work with Apple's iPad Air before now, but because it's smaller, they're not full-size keyboards. This one is, and it's super comfortable to type on. So actually, you can really work on long emails and long documents. I've written 2,000-word articles on this thing perfectly comfortably, and I couldn't do that before. Of course, the pencil's really accurate, so if you're working on photo editing, for example, or sketching, you can do that really easily with this.
Are there any times where it's really let you down and you've had to put aside the iPad Pro and go back to a different computer?
Yeah, so it doesn't support RAW files, so for all my photography that's an issue. If I switch back to my MacBook Pro, and it doesn't play that well with some Google accounts when you're using them on corporate networks, which we do all the time. So syncing calendars and emails can be a bit tricky. And of course, much as the screen size helps some things, when you're doing a lot of heavy multitasking, if you're doing a lot of work, you need a lot of windows open at once, different tabs in Finder, for example, which you can get on the MacBook, it's still not quite as easy. So if I'm doing a heavy work, I will still switch back.
The big question is, could you buy this instead of a laptop?
Yes, I would say you absolutely can. But you should actually think carefully about what it is you actually want to do from it. If you need USB ports, people give you files, here's the new document, work on this please. You're going to have to use Dropbox for things like that, because of course, no USB ports. But you can work well on this thing. The keyboard's great, it's got so much power, and that big screen does make most office tasks you would ever want to do super easy. And of course, at the end of the day, you still then got a tablet for entertainment, and that's great. It does both things you want.
So that's what Andy thinks about the iPad Pro, but what are your thoughts on Apple's gigantic tablet? Let us know what you think and stay tuned to CNET.com.